A great privilege to be fighting in such a very historical place, Philadelphia, and then having to fight here at the Spectrum. What can I say? You know, a lot of the big fights have been fought here, and for me to be part of it, you know, it's a great honor to be fighting in the same card as such a great fighter like Bernard Hopkins. With much respect, you know, it's a great privilege. And I thank everybody who's worked really hard to make this possible, to bring this fight to Philadelphia. And it's been a great camp. I'm looking forward to it. I'm well prepared from head to toe. Mentally, physically, I'm ready to go. God bless, and have a great day.
And this is not a difficult result to pick. Rockman's coming off back-to-back losses. This will be 3 strikes and he's out. His confidence is down, his punches are slow, his chin is soft. And to make things worse, he's fighting the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, David Tua.
It almost worked, man. He almost got me scared over there talking about David Tua is the hardest puncher in the division. I mean, what, he been hitting you? I might as well not show up. David's gonna hit me with the right hand and the left hook and the body shot, and that's it, right? I mean, that's it. I might as well not show up. Hey, y'all don't see no fight. I'm gonna go back to Baltimore. I'm scared. You know, I was a tremendous underdog in South Africa, and this is Mao right now. If I'm an underdog, this is Mao. I've been shocking the boxing world since I entered the boxing world, and I ain't finished yet.
Content d'être aux États-Unis, à Philadelphie. C'est la première fois que je viens aux États-Unis.
Okay, I'm very happy to be here in the United States in Philadelphia. This is my first time in this country.
Je vais réaliser un rêve de tout jeune, faire un jour un championnat du monde contre le meilleur, mais le meilleur.
Okay, I am gonna realize a dream something that I've always dreamed in my whole life was to do a world championship, and especially a world championship against the best of all the champions.
But everyone knows when you fight a Philadelphia fighter, whether it's at the Blue Horizon or at the Spectrum, you're going to see a fight. Rain, snow, sleep, and shine. You're going to see 2 guys in there that's not making millions of dollars. They're going to give their sweat, blood, and tears to put on a good performance. That's Philly, man. It's something in the air. I don't know if the Rocky statue influenced that. I don't know if the stats. I don't know what it is. But when you go to Philly fight cards, you're going to see a great fight. The undercard, main event, it's going to be a good fight. Because I don't believe anybody in their right mind is desperate enough to come all the way from France to Philadelphia, not try. And that's the mentality and the training and the spirit that I go in the ring with. Killed or be killed. Better him than me. It's going to be a good execution. I'm going to do what I have to do to get 16th defense.
Well, I don't really have to do anything different from the last fight. You know, just be prepared after the bell, that's all. Well, I mean, you know, David Tua is dangerous from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. You know, I just got to be focused 3 minutes every round, or 3.5 minutes every round. But, you know, if you wanted to talk about lucky punches is hitting somebody after the bell and getting a win over it. You know, that's a lucky punch, a blatant foul, cheating punch, and you still don't knock a guy out. What I did was within the rules of boxing, did it within the time frame of boxing, and became heavyweight champion of the world, which nobody can ever take that away. You know, I mean, it's history now. So, you know, if it's luck, so be it. It's done. I've done it. He didn't do it. I've done it. You know, many people haven't done it, and many people tried. So whatever they want to say it, you know, maybe it's better to be lucky than good. I'm going to see if I can't get lucky again Saturday.
Well, I think the difference is now is that I'm working with now my manager and the man that started me at the beginning of my professional career, and that is Kevin Perry. I think outside of my family, really, there's nobody that knows me better than Kevin. So, you know, the blessing is that I'm doing a lot of things that I didn't do in the past that I truly believe that would have benefited me. So pretty much now is that I'm fighting to my strength. That is the obvious plan that we have put together, is to try to stay busy and to come in and just be explosive. Well, pretty much, you know, it's something that was there in the beginning, but pretty much it kind of drifted. The reason being is because I've started to knock guys out with a left hook, and then all of a sudden I become a one-handed fighter. But, you know, the right hand, you know, it was a punch that was always there. But I think Kevin, working with me, I think has put that punch back in the right terms.
Guys, and very good guys. A couple of the nicest guys going. This is the weigh-in yesterday when David Tua scaled at 245. 259 and a half.
For the IBF Heavyweight Championship elimination.
All that kind of stuff, hostility, acrimony, you know, rage. I mean, it's just here. It's the Tua man and Hasim Rahman.
But there's some other major differences here. You see the age is exactly the same. The height, a big advantage for Rahman. He's 5.5 inches taller. And the reach, 13 inches an advantage for Hasim Rahman. Those are the two big differences. And then the weight, the 259 pounds, that's some 35 pounds heavier than he was for his last fight against Holyfield. There's been a lot of talk about his conditioning. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. These are the rules under which the fight will be contested. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and only the referee can stop the fight. So
here we go. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled. A rematch showdown for the IBF Heavyweight Championship elimination. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red trim, joining us from Baltimore, Maryland. He weighed in at 259.5 pounds. With a record of 35 wins and 4 losses, he has 29 wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked the IBF number 4 heavyweight in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Hasim Rahman. His opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, this 12-round attraction, entering the ring wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from South Auckland, New Zealand. He weighed in at 245 pounds. His record stands at 42 wins, 3 losses with 37 big wins coming by way of knockout, holding the NABF title. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the IBF number 3 ranked heavyweight in the world. Please welcome a man known as the Tua Man, introducing David Tua. And once again, a referee in charge, Rudy Battle, now to give instructions, 12 rounds of boxing schedule.
See on David Tua's trunks, Tui Valley, that's his dad's name, and the other thing on there is Movainga Oliatua, which means all glory to God. There he is, David Tua. Hasim Rahman.
I expect a clean break at all times. I want to re-emphasize and reinforce the fact I don't want any hitting on the break. When I tell you to break, I give you the command to break. I want you both to step back clean, protect yourself coming out of the clinch. Watch the no blows, watch the holding and hitting. Let's have a nice, clean contest. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
Rudy Battle, an excellent referee. David Tua ranked number 3 in the IBF, number 1 WBO, number 5 WBC, number 2 in the WBA. Hasim Rahman, number 4 in the IBF, and the former WBC and IBF heavyweight champion of the world. He held the lately regarded WBU title as well as the USBA title. So about 12 titles between these two guys and all their defenses. This should be explosive early. David right across the ring, bangs the body upstairs with the left hand, and you saw the right hand right away. David working on that jab in the right hand with his huge man, Hasim Rahman. Rahman 14 pounds heavier, and he has the reach advantage and the distinct height advantage. David Tua wants to bang him with power and make him feel the power early. Watch the right hand. We always talk about the left hook at David Tua, but watch the right hand. Kevin Berry's done a sensational job of getting this guy's mind right, getting his jab back, working on the right hand, working inside, working to bang the body, and Hasim Rahman has no fear of this guy at all. He feels like he had him out in the scorecards in the first fight, that he can knock him out, and he claims that's why he has the extra weight. It's not because he's not in condition. Hasim Rahman is a huge man. David's right in front of him, not using a lot of head movement right now. I saw him in the gym several times, and he had a lot of head movement, but right now he's kind of waiting a little bit more than what you would expect to see here in the first round from David. David wants to load up a shot, and I think he wants to throw the right hand to send him a message that he's got more than the left hook. David was considered a one-dimensional fighter until they decided to go back to the basics and just use his power and have him much quicker on his feet and inside. Hasim Rahman, just a huge man, ties him up on the inside. David has never been down in his career. He's never been cut, and he's never really been hurt. Hasim, of course, knocked out Lennox Lewis and then turned around and got knocked out himself by Lewis. Long looping right hand, and that's the right hand that got Lewis. But sails over the shoulder of David, stiff jab in the face of David, and this is the way Hasim wants to fight the fight. David will parry off those shots, try to land left hook or the right hand. It's the right hand he'd like to teach him a lesson with early. David takes the jab in the side of the face and then pushes him off, showing his strength. David has huge thighs, and the outfit that he's got on is designed to kind of show off those thighs, and it's fantastic. He's in tremendous physical condition. He's been in camp for 11 weeks. I asked him if there was any chance that he might be a little overtrained. He said, no, we tape it out properly and ready. I want this fight, and I want to knock him out in a big style. And Hasim Rahman told me the same thing. He said, I can knock this guy out. If I can knock out Lennox Lewis, I can certainly knock out David Tua. That's his attitude. David's showing some head movement right in front of the man. Not starting as fast as I thought that David would start, but he knows what he's doing in there. Jab downstairs to the body. Hasim wants to fight him out here. This is Hasim's fight outside. David wants to work on the inside. Occasionally, Rahman's going to have to come on the inside, but he's got to watch with his elbows and whatnot that he doesn't take a vicious body shot from David Tua, because he can break ribs with his body shots. He broke 2 heavy bags in his training camp in Las Vegas. Just a couple of seconds to the bell, ending round number 1. And there's the bell, and good round 1. This is round 2. David Tua with his back here. Hasim Rahman with the red trim on his black trunks. White trim on David Tua's trunks. David Tua, 5.5 inches shorter, giving away 13 inches in reach. He's going to work inside. Pretty good left hook by Hasim Rahman. Catches the side of that. This kick loads up the right hand and sails over the back of Hasim Rahman. Rahman knows how to tie him up. Rahman has a look in his eye that he knows totally what he's doing. He doesn't have any concern in his face. He bangs the body of David Tua. Tua not moving as much as I've seen him working in the gym. There's the jab, left hook, right hand, he caught Hasim and back on his heels. He felt the power of the right hand of David. And there's the left hook, and he comes in and bangs him by the left ear with the right hand as David Tua. So Tua has let some of the power go here in round 2 that was lacking in round 1, and he's opened it up a bit. Hasim Rahman is not shaken by the shots. His legs are fine at this stage. He's back to his jab right in the center of the ring. David huffing and puffing and making those side-to-side movements, bangs a straight left hand on the body of Hasim Rahman. As the jab touching him on the chin, and that's what Kevin Byrd was asking for. Those 2 punches short by Hasim. Rahman wants to fight out here in boxing, and he's successful when he does that. David wants to work his way inside, and Kevin wants to use the jab to get inside. There's the straight jab inside. Hasim touches him with the jab, touches him again with the jab. No movement by David Tua. That's not good for Tua, but for Hasim Rahman fans, it's excellent. Hasim goes finishing downstairs. Dave comes back with the light left hand. Minute 17 seconds to go in the second round. The power shots landed by Tua. Hasim wants the boxer to be doing a nice job keeping the jab in the face of David Tua. Now Tua picks up his jab, a couple of light lefts to the chest, and that's all they want him to do. Just touch him up and load up the right hand. Something that Hasim Rahman is not really looking for. He's looking for the left hook. And Rockman, by the way, is open for the right hand. You see his left hand when he jabs out. He's got a stiff jab, but then he drops his jab down. He's touching up David pretty good with that jab, too. He's doing a nice job with the jab. And this is a situation where the judge is going to score for the jab of Hasim Rahman of the 3 or 4 power punches that David Tua landed. See, he's doing a nice job with the jab. There's that powerful, blasting left hook of the hands of David Tua. Partially blocked from the gloves by Hasim Rahman. But Rahman is doing pretty well. There's the double shot there, the jab in the right hand, and there's a puffiness by the right eye of David Tua here, as Hasim Rahman is doing a nice job with that jab in the face of David. 6 seconds now of the second round. Nice job that time with a powerful right-hand shot by Hasim Rahman. And Rahman may win this round. All right, there's a shot right at the bell. And then he outboxed him in the second round. Okay, let's see if the instructions of Kevin Barry can change him. Billy Stratham and Peter Merrick, the line coach, are also in the corner of David Tua, along with his trainer and manager, Kevin. All right, Hasim stands flat, but there's a big left hook that did catch him, and that blinked his eyes. Now the right hand comes up next to his chin. He don't want to get hit by too many more of those. David has puffiness around that eye, and there's a straight right hand that pops right on top of the left eye of David Tua. I mean, Hasim is doing a nice job taking advantage of his reach. He's keeping David out there off the end of the jab. David has to work in flurries. But David has the one thing like a Tyson very few guys have, and that's explosive one-punch knockout power. And of course we saw Rahman with one-punch knockout power against Lennox Lewis. Rahman is just a huge man, 6'2", 260 pounds in this fight. He banged David with the right hand again. David having some problems with his guy. You see him getting that jab through. David realizes this guy has got a big reach advantage. He wants to set up something. He's thinking what he's going to do each time he comes in. Kevin Barry told him to jab your way in, and then throw an unmerciful mother of all punches right hand. And instead it's Rahman who continues to tap with that jab and look for an opportunity to drop his own right hand. Hasim Rahman is outboxing David Tua, but Tua, who's the explosive puncher, is looking for the opportunity to land the big left and right hand. While Hasim is outboxing him right now, in no way is it anything like the Byrd fight or the fight against Lennox Lewis, where David couldn't do anything because David has had good opportunities to land power shots, and he has landed power shots here. And we're only in round number 3. It's Rahman getting the power shot through with his right hand. And Rahman is gaining confidence as he comes inside with his left hook. David holds him off in the exchange inside. David shows his strength by throwing him off. Tua not as bulky with the muscles as he once was, but there's more power with the flexibility that he has. A lot of puffiness around the face and a lot of redness in the face of David Tua right now. A couple light jabs taken on the partially blocked by Hasim Rahman. Rahman holds the hands high, tests him with the jab, steps to his right. David tracks him down. Blood coming from the nostrils down with David Tua, as Rahman has flattened out the nose a couple of times. David's got his hands full with this guy who is outboxing him. Here comes the bell to end round number 3. Big left hand catches Rahman at the bell. Didn't mention his mother Noella and his sons Klein and Kana. He said to be sure to say hello to the boys, so I'm on that now. Here we go with round number 4. Scheduled for 12. This is the IBF heavyweight elimination. It's a rematch of a fight that took place in 1998 in which Hasim Rahman claimed he was robbed. There's the powerful left hook up around the... Oh, the right hand flashed off the skull of Hasim Rahman, but it didn't shift him. This guy can take a pretty good shot. The left hook caught him, and the right hand smashed him right in the left eye, and Rahman wasn't shifted by it. And David has to be wondering as he looks to his corner, hey, what do I have to hit this guy with to move him? Well, maybe the fact that Rahman came in with that extra weight is the fact that at this stage in the fight, we'll see what it means around the 8th, 9th, and 10th round if Rahman's philosophy is still working at that stage. But by golly, he bobbled up what I would consider a real good left hook and a crushing right hand. as that stiff jab. But David now is doing what his trainer Kevin Byrd said. There's the jab to the left hook. And that's the way I've seen him training in the gym. Roxman now has a look of concern on his face. He's felt the power. He's seen the 3 jabs in a row. Now, when you see the 3 jabs in a row followed up by the right hand, then you know David Tua is the improved fighter. Blood trickles from the left nostril. David once again.
Get off, let him up.
These are 2 of the nicest guys in the whole boxing world. 2 totally different backgrounds. David Tua is just a sweetheart of a guy all the way. Rockman more of a street guy, great guy too. Rockman gets the jab through. You see the perspiration from the head of David Tua. David would love to get him in a position with his head down so he could hit him with a chopping right-hand shot. Rudy Battle doing a nice job with these 2 mammoth heavyweights in there. David Tua 245 pounds, and Hasim Rahman 259, over 260 today when they weighed again. This is a David Tua round with about a minute to go. It seemed not as effective in the 4th as he was in the 2nd and 3rd, and part of that is because David's worked up that jab so well. Now, you see, he doesn't pick it off like he was told, but, you know, when the fatigue sets in after a couple minutes in the round, you forget those things. You have a tendency to revert back your old self. But he'll be reminded in between when he picks that jab up. Look at that jab. Here's the left hook again. Didn't leave his feet for that, but by golly, he let it go with some bad intention. And that's the way to throw it. Hasim Rahman, not circling at all, is standing right in front of David. He tries to come with an uppercut, which pitches David below the heart. There's no damage. This is the left hook. It looks better than it was that time by Tua. Hasim Rahman bangs him with the right hand. David can take a whale of a shot too. Hasim up on his toes, dancing in, dancing out. There's the jab in the face of David Tua. As Bill ending the 4th round, and that's the better Tua round. I got to tell you, this is one tough cookie though, as Hasim Rahman. David Tua bounces across the ring in a hurry to try to get right back into the war with him. David looks to me like he's got a second win right now as he pumps that piston-like jab close to the jaw of Hasim Rahman. There's the left hook that bangs on the right side of the ear of Rahman. Tua seems to have an adrenaline flow right now, and it seems like he might have got hurt by one of those inside shots. It was a looping right hand and a left hand inside. David now walks behind the referee. Rudy Battle sets himself up again. Hasim stands right in front of David. Not a good idea. That time, Tua did a terrific job of picking off the right-hand punch of Hasim Rahman. So things aren't going Hasim's way the way they were in the 2nd and 3rd round. Both guys seem like they're really huffing and puffing because they're giant men. 245 pounds is David, and Hasim is 259, 260 pounds. Big men. But the big difference is the height, which, you know, in a way hunts the career of David. So can you imagine if he was 6'1", 6'2"? But they decided, hey, we're not going to try to make a boxer out of him. We made that mistake against Byrd. Oh, he loaded the right hand. And that gets Rahman walking away, and he felt that power. He was down at his heels as he walked away. David banged him with another right hand. So already you've seen something you haven't seen by David Tua too often, and that's success in landing right hands. Partially because he's worked on it, and partially because Rahman holds his left hand down. That's something that Kevin Barry, his trainer, was totally aware of, that when Rahman throws his left hand, he has a tendency to hang it and put it down at his hip, and that leaves him wide open for the right hand. Hence, they've worked in training an awful lot on David Tua throwing right hands. Hasim Rahman down on his heels again as David comes in, and now it's just hard work time for both of these big men.
Let him go. Stop him.
David kind of looks over to his corner for instructions. Hasim Rahman right in front of him. You see the fading, and Hasim tries to get out of there. Tries to hold him off with a jab again. Worked in a real tough, hard fight right now. Both guys need this round because after 4, I had it dead even. David goes head hunting with his tail-made left hook. That's what he's famous for. Now the blood trickles from the left nostril of Hasim Rahman. With 33 seconds to go, nobody's really taken this round significantly. I think David Tua has been a little bit busier. But this is one of those rounds that the judges, depending on where they see different things. Both guys showing that they're trying to get the oxygen in. Huffing and puffing, looping right hand by Hasim Rahman. as David loads up the right hand, but it doesn't quite land. And the closing seconds down to the 5th round. Now that's a fairly even round there. I just coming up to the 6th round. I'm Bob Sheridan, working with me, Mark Goldberg. We're in the Philadelphia Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in the United States of America. David Tua from South Auckland, New Zealand. The shorter of the two men with white trim and black trunks to the left of your screen. To the right of your screen, kind of with his back to you now to the left of your screen, is Hasim Rahman, the former champion of the world, the man who shocked the heavyweight division by knocking out Lennox Lewis in Africa a couple of years ago.
No holding, no holding.
Lennox get back and take the title back, but Hasim is a former heavyweight champ.
All right, get real. Let him go. Let him go.
David Tua has had 2 shots at the world title, and he needs to win. Both of these guys need this fight. Oh, the left hook catches Rahman, and that put him back on his heels. Rahman has gobbled up some hellacious left hand and right hand shots by David Tua tonight. I tell you, if he wasn't in pretty good shape, he wouldn't be able to take these shots. Because Tua is definitely one of the hardest hitters in the division, and he's caught him on 3 occasions, just not quite on the button. As David loading up the right hand again, and if you're a David Tua fan, and I know we've been a huge audience for a Sunday afternoon down in New Zealand, you got to love the right hands that David's throwing. If you're from Baltimore, Maryland, in the United States, you're probably not too interested in what David Tua is doing, because you want to see Hasim Rahman able to gobble up the power of Tua. But Tua is having a pretty good 6th round. The halfway point of the 6th round, and David now can't let him steal his round from him. Here's the left hook, he caught him high in the forehead that time. While the left hand is Tua again, sitting past the nose, loads up the right hand. And boy, he set him down on his heels twice in this round. Rahman has taken some big shots. There's the right hand again. Left hook behind the ear, backed him to the ropes, and now he has to hang on. He has felt the power of David Tua, my friends, in this round. Minutes to go into the 6th. Really battle keeps commanding there, and he has to. David trying to get his hands free so he can whack this guy one more time. He didn't want to cruise for the last minute of this. He'd love to knock him out right here. A little bit short with his punches is Rahman. Now he tries to work off the left shoulder of David. And that right hand, David must know that his right hand is there, because Hasim Rahman's carrying that left low with about 35 seconds to go in the 6th round. This is a good heavyweight fight for the IBF elimination. The corner of David Tua screaming, work the jab, work the jab. David has his sights on knocking this guy out with the right hand power shot. 19 seconds, 18, 17 seconds to go in the 6th. Hasim Rahman has been rocked. That's his nickname, the Rahman. He's been rocked on 3 occasions in this round. And that's a good David Tua round with less than 5 seconds now to go in the 6th round. That's a good Tua round for him. All right, there's the bell, ending round 6.
Okay, please work your jab. Okay, please do it off the jab. Don't let him hold you. He's tired. The shots are there, Dave. Both sides. The right hand of 45. Forget about the hook. The right hand, then the 45. He's ducking into it. Okay? Don't let him hold you. And don't.
Very cool to hear him say, okay. Let me take a look at these shots now. Watch this. Boom. Not quite all of it. Not quite all of it. And there it is again. That one rocked him pretty good. You see him go right down on his heels when he get hit. When you see the legs go or the knees wobble, then you know it really hit home. All right, here we go. Round 7. Bob Sheridan with Mark Goldberg. You're watching King Vision around the world. Glad that you can be with us wherever you're watching. Across the South Pacific, I know there's a big fight for you. For troops watching on Armed Forces Radio and TV around the world, we're glad that you can be with us wherever you're watching, and as you know, we're all behind you. There's Don King had to say earlier. Hasim Rahman facing you. David Tua with his back to you. Rahman seems a little bit, just a hair shell-shocked to me that he's felt the power in that last round of David Tua. David caught him on 3 different occasions, and it wasn't a flush punch, but by golly, he felt the power because all 3 times his arm goes down. Now, Rockman, on the other hand, has done a really, really nice job, especially in the second and third rounds, and a pretty good job in the fifth round of boxing David Tua. And that's not what David wants. David doesn't want to get in boxing matches with people. He wants to get in slugfests with people. David's never really been rocked. He got hit in the fourth round in the Lennox Lewis fight and went into a bit of a shell. But other than that, I don't think he's really been hurt by anybody in his career. Of course, he was the bronze medalist in the Olympic Games for the country of New Zealand. He was a heavyweight. Oh, the right hand got Rockman, and at that time his legs did begin to go. He's got him wobbled, because David wants to finish it now if he can. Rockman will have to hang on as best he can, and his corner is telling him to, but his knees went that time. That's the first time in the fight that he's really been hurt. There's another right hand again by Tua. Pull up hook inside, and Rockman hang on. He's really a little bit, he's still wobbled. There's the right hand again that crashes to the left side of his head. A minute 20 seconds ago, that's a lot of time in a round for Rockman to have to hang on, and Tua bangs his big body. The uppercut inside by Rockman, who's just trying to lean on David, use his weight. David trying to shake free. Pretty battle finally gets him to separate. And that's all Rockman wants to do now is survive the big shock that he got by the right hand of David. Again, it was the right hand. Rockman is down on his heels. His legs are back, but not totally back. He's still a little bit of jelly in the knees, and he throws the combination, but really there's no power with it because he's still a little bit hurt. Just a little bit. Sits down on his heels again, doesn't move a lot this time. David needs to get some punching room. An awkward sort of right hand thrown by big Hasim Rahman. Nice stiff jab on the chin of Hasim Rahman that time. Rahman tries to hold off towards, he comes in, bangs him, hook, uppercut inside. Those punches hurt as well, but he's able to gobble up some pretty good power by David. Lesser fighters would have been gone, and that's why the extra weight may be helping Rockman a little bit to hang in here in the seventh round. 10 seconds to go, and he's probably going to survive this round. Now left hook again, it's there. Oh, he loaded up the right hand, and I can feel the wind of that one across the way here. Woo! What a round to David Tua. In the second and third round, is David right across the way in a hurry, and immediately Rockman ties him up. We're in the 8th round now. This is scheduled for 12. This is a huge fight for both men. There's millions on the line. Tua stands to make $2 or $3 million in his next fight to fight probably the IBF championship against Chris Byrd, of course, the guy that he lost to, but this is a different David Tua today. He's got his mind straight. He really wants to fight. They've done a nice job. David was a little bit depressed, he told me, after losing to Lennox Lewis. He told me, not so much for himself, but just for his family and his friends and everybody he led down it. He said, forget about that. You know, you're a professional athlete. You know, what's in the future for you? And that's the same thing with Hasim Rahman. Don't forget, he's coming off two disappointing losses. He's coming off that shot where he was stopped by Lennox Lewis, and then a technical loss with a big welt in his head against Evander Holyfield last June. So he's disappointed. And he's really made a good account of himself here for all the criticism and the bouncing around of trainers and the heavy weight that he came in. But we told you what he said about his weight, and to this point, he's hanging there pretty well. I've got Tua out in front by just a couple of points based on power shots. Both guys have expended a lot of energy. It's been a good pace for two giant heavyweights. Rockman a little bit on the sloppy side right now because he's been victimized by the power of Tua. And Tua's trying to sort of get a second wind here. He's waiting, of course. They want him to jab in. Nice stiff jab that time in the face. That's a crushing, punishing punch. You throw a jab like that, that's a punch that, against a lesser opponent, you know, the top 10 guys, that'll knock a guy down. But this is a whole different league at this level. Very highest level of boxing right here you want to. David Tua, number 3 contender for the IBF. Bangs downstairs. Rockman, number 4. Nobody wants to fight Chris Byrd. David Tua said, I'll fight an elimination to fight him. I'll fight him again. I'd love to fight him again. There's a right hand, bangs Rockman again. The left hook catches him, and that puts him back on his heels again. Feet wide apart. David caught him again. Big He's got him wobbled. He's in trouble. He's ready to go, I think. Well, and the shot is David Tua that just missed it again. Caught him 3 times out of the 5 that he threw. Whiteman trying to get the blood back in. David comes to the uppercut inside of 10 seconds to go. But if there's any concern on the judges' cards in the 8th round, those big shots landed by David make it definitive. That's the David Tua round again. And that Rockman was, here we go in the 9th round. Tua out in front in this fight right now by power punches. Rockman was outboxing him early, but David Tua from the 5th round on has come on really strong here and rocked him in the 6th, 7th, and very heavily in the 8th round. Just softened him up, I'll say, in the 6th, rocked him in the 7th, and really caught him heavily in the 8th round towards the last 10 seconds of that round. Now can David come through and do what Kevin Barry is asking him to do? Step up with that jab, push him back, try to push him back, and throw you a shot. This is the 9th round. It's scheduled for 12 rounds. This is the IBF Eliminator. David Tua disposed of Russell Chastain in 2, took Mike Mora out in 1, and he had to get into the 9th round against President Kendo before he was able to stop him. We're in the 9th round now, and David just landed a late right hand to the left side of the head of Hasim Rahman. Rahman has taken the power as good as anybody I've seen take the power of David Tua. He's been hit, I would say, 7, 8 times by really good power shots, and 3 times, at least twice, but 3 times with punches that would knock out most anybody, but not Hasim Rahman.
Hold on. Here I am. Let him go. Both of you step back. Let him go.
Both guys showing fatigue here in the 9th round because there's been a pretty hefty pace for heavyweights. Rahman trying to work his jab. And of course they want David Tua to pick off the jab, but he's not doing that right now. He's letting Rahman steal the sloppy round away from him. David maybe just taking a round off to get himself a second win. Not doing a lot here in the 9th round, and Hasim Rahman may be able to outbox him, but to put him right back in the fight. In spite of the fact that he's been rocked on several occasions, there hasn't been anything more than a 10-9 round in the fight. He hasn't been able to knock him down. And it is likely Rahman can knock Tua down. Nobody else has. And at this stage, whether he has the power left to be able to do that is another kettle of fish. But he could outbox Tua as he's doing in this round. And this he's outboxed Tua, and he's right back in this fight. If he wins this round, he's right back in the fight. David loaded up the right hand, and Rahman was able to parry it off that time. Caught him with a pretty good right hand. Rahman hanging in there, showing his grit and showing how tough he is. He settled into the next shot. David tries to load up the right hand, doesn't quite land. And you know something? Rahman won in that round.
Round 10.
All right, the 9th round was the first round that Rahman's taken in the fight, and now David Tua seems to be re-energized because I'm sure that they told him in between rounds, hey, we don't know if this guy cruise back into this fight because he sucked right back into it with a win. I'll tell you this, if Rahman wins this 10th round, this is anybody's fight from that point on. David works downstairs, tries to get that jab in the face. Rahman likes it out here, wants to try to continue to outbox him, and he's doing that. If David doesn't pick off and get off that jab first, Rahman will just outbox him like he did in the 9th round. Now that wasn't a real definitive round for Rahman, but I just thought Rahman outboxed David a little bit. If David took him around off, he didn't do much in the 9th round at all. The 10th round he seems to start out fast, but nothing effective so far here. Puffiness underneath both of the eyes of David Tua, swelling around the eyes. Jim Strickland, the excellent cutman, doing a nice job keeping those eyes open at the end. Rahman has been rocked in 3 different rounds, in 6, 7, and very heavily in the 8th round, but he's been able to survive him without going down. Rahman has a second win right now and knows that if he can outbox this guy, he can still win this fight.
Get off him.
In the 10th round, as Rahman bangs the body of Tua. It's a little sloppy right now, as you can see. David needs to pick up the pace.
Get off him.
I mean, so far, what do you give this round to? I'll let you judge. There's a big booming hand that wasn't hit flush. Rockman making it sloppy, but that's the way he wants it. He doesn't want Tua to be able to get off the booming shot. And in the meantime, if he can score a light flurry here and there and hit the jab in the face, he can steal his 10th round too. Nice left hook inside by Rockman. There's a banging right hand. Boy, that was right in front of the ear of Rockman. His hands are all right because he seems like he's really banging the shots. And, well, he has shifted him on a few occasions, but that shot in front of the ear should have dropped it. And it didn't. Tua up on his toes now. There's some sense of urgency in David's mind now to bang this guy with a big shot. Rockman tries to work inside, but he doesn't really want to fight inside. He'd like to fight out here. This is further. That time David got off first and snapped his head back. Loads up the right hand, and now there's confidence underneath that left eye of Hasim Rahman. That's from the work of David Tua with the right hand. David snaps the left in the face of Rahman, flattens out that nose, bangs the left on the forehead, misses with a light left hand that went past the shoulder of Hasim. This is another close round. Rahman caught him with the right hand coming in. Well, that's a close round, and it could go either way, too. Merrick, Jim Strickland all working in the corner of David Tua. You heard the instructions by Kevin Barry. Let's see if David can execute. For Rockman, they want him to fight low. They want him to stay down. They don't want David down. The time has been called, and it's just a piece of tape coming loose on the left glove of Hasim Rahman that Rudy Battle wants to get rid of. All right, time is back in again. This is the 11th round. It's championship territory. David Tua had to go 12 rounds with Chris Byrd and 12 rounds with Lennox Lewis. And those two 12-round fights he lost. Hasim Rahman went 12 against Jesse Ferguson and won the fight. And that's the only time he's had to go 12 rounds in his career. He's had 3 10-round victories. So we're getting into a territory that neither one of them has spent a lot of time. Hasim Rahman continues to pump that jab in the face of David Tua. Rahman doing what his opponent told him, and that he's trying to get low and make himself a smaller target than Tua. As the fatigue sets in, it may be more difficult for David to land that pinpoint shot.
Let him go. Work your way. Come on, work your way.
David does that little dip to his left and then throws a shot. But Rahman's doing a nice job of smothering David inside right now. These guys are working hard, and the crowd doesn't appreciate the strategy that's involved by both of these guys. And they get restless because they want to see a knockout. And they might see it pretty soon because that right hand really crushed Hasim Rahman, but I'm just amazed at his ability to gobble up some of these shots to David. It makes me wonder about his hands. David hasn't complained at all about it. It's just when I see guys getting that hard, and the guy really isn't shifted, I always wonder about hands. But David hasn't complained that we've been able to hear about his hands. Rahman tries to hold him off. David throws that combination of punches that he's been asked to throw. Who are you going to get this round to so far? I mean, Dave is trying to work harder, and Hasim is doing a lot of holding, so based on that, you give it to Tua to this point, but there's 40 seconds to go.
Work your way out of there. Work your way out.
34, 33, 32 seconds to go inside of 30 seconds to go in the 11th round. Dave loads up the right hand, but it doesn't land. There's the left hook. It catches him a bit. Right hand catches him. Left hook inside. He must be frustrated by the fact that he can't shift him. And off the ropes comes Hasim Rahman and lands an uppercut that bounces the head back at David Tua. But then he hangs on. I'm totally amazed by the grit of Hasim Rahman here. There's another left hand that looked right to the crowd in attendance, but it was blocked by the right glove of Hasim Rahman. And there's the bell ending the 11th round. Round for either guy could make it definitive for Tua on my scorecard, but I've got a couple of rounds even, so this fight is a whole lot closer than perhaps many people thought it would be. And Hasim Rahman has made a tremendous account of himself being able to take the power of David Tua, who's landed at least, I would say, 10 vicious power shots through the course of this fight and hasn't been able to shift Hasim Rahman. Nobody else that I've seen in David Tua's career, and I've seen a lot of his fights, has been able to take those kind of power shots and stand up. Hasim Rahman has, and it's the fact of putting on the weight or staying at 260 instead of coming down into the 230s. The strategy has worked in that he has survived at least and still has a chance in this 12th round to win the fight. David Tua needs to put an exclamation point on it now to win this fight. I mean, I got him ahead by 3 points, but remember I had 2 even rounds because I'm doing other things besides judging the fight here. The judges won't have even rounds, by the way. So this 12th round is very, very important. David is a little bit on the gas side, and so is Hasim Rahman. But David Tua is still very dangerous. And Hasim Rahman has totally amazed me that he is able to stand up. This is a 12-round fight for him, which has only been in the 12th round a couple of times in his career. And you got to go back to 98 against Jesse Ferguson, and prior to that against Obed Sullivan. And both of the 12-round fights he won. Hasim Rahman up on his toes. How about this? 260 pounds, you might as well say, bouncing around, trying to outbox Dave here. He looks awkward when he throws his shots because he's such a big fella. With a minute to go, he's got to do more than dance. He's got to land. Tua hasn't done much in this 12th round. Loads up to the right hand again. Turned out to be a tough fight for David Tua. Hasim Rahman, full determination and grit, as that big, powerful right hand on the ear again of Rahman. Rahman touches him out. There's a big right hand. And David will land a couple of more of those, and he's going to win the 12th round. After I thought Hasim Rahman was going to do stop boxing. But it's effective aggressiveness. The outboxing isn't hurting Tua whatsoever. So how effective is that part of his aggressiveness? 19 seconds to go. I tell you, the crowd may not like it, but it's been a big pace for 2 big guys. A heavy pace and a hard pace for both guys. And both guys now we know can go 12 rounds. Hasim Rahman thinks he won the fight. David Tua tries to finish strong here. Look at this at the bell. It's all over. And they still keep going. And Tua is touched to the jaw and falls down, but it's no knockdown at all. He just pushed him back. After the bell, they kept going at it a little bit. I'm going to score 117-113 in favor of David Tua with 2 rounds even in my scorecard. So, if those even rounds that I gave him on my scorecard in the 5th and the 10th, Bill Clancy, Robert Grasso, and Georgie Hill won't have even rounds. Might be pretty close. You take 2 points away from Tua and add to the Rahman, and you get an even fight. This is the very end of the round. This is at the bell. Rahman thinks he's won the fight. He's dancing around. Tua comes forward. Now, someplace in here, the bell sounds, and David's frustrated that he hasn't been able to take this guy out. And the fight's actually over now, and they both keep throwing punches. And then David gets hit in the chin and goes back. It's a good thing to him that the round was over, because that would have been scored a knockdown. So it's in the hands of the judges. An interesting fight. I gave Tua the first, Rahman Tua 3, Tua the 4th. 5th round I had even. Tua had his best rounds for the 6th, 7th, and 8th. He really rocked him in each one of those rounds, and severely at the end of the 8th round. Then they gave Rahman the 9th, the 10th, too close to call, and Tua 11, and Bailey the 12th. So it's going to be interesting to see how the judges. Again, I had it 117-113 in favor of David Tua. But remember, I had the 2 even rounds, that made it a whole different thing.
And we go to the scorecards. Here are our score totals. Judged at ringside, Robert Grasso scores about 116 to 112 in favor of David Tua. Judge at ringside, Bill Clancy scores about 116 to 112 in favor of Hasim Rahman. And judge at ringside, George Hill sees about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is even a draw.
Well, I told you how that could happen. Obviously, those two rounds, the 5th and the 10th round, made the difference. The ones that I had it even, Bill Clancy had it prohibitively, I would think, 116-112 in favor of Rahman. Grasso had it exactly opposite, and George Hill had it dead even. I had it 117-113, which would be in line with Grasso. I can understand Hill scoring. I don't understand Bill Clancy's. But it's a draw. Now that's a surprise. Well, nothing seems to change this year. Surprise after surprise.
All right, thank you very much, Colonel David. You've got to be one of the many, many people that are shocked at this one tonight. What was your feelings when you heard that word draw?
Well, I thought I landed bigger shots, landed the more effective blows in there, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, as you heard the fans, you know, they didn't quite go with the flow of what the judges had in mind, but more than anything else, nobody was hurt seriously, so I'm great.
You hit him with, I don't think you had anything left. You hit him with everything you had, and he didn't go down. Was that a shock to you?
No, pretty much so. I think I was concentrating more on the bigger shot, one big shot at a time rather than putting punches together that I've been shown by Kevin in the gym.
Well, I know that Kevin all night long said, don't go away from the right hand, stay with the right hand. You did that. Only the second and third round, he kept his jabs in front of you, kind of kept you off balance. But after that, you seemed that you had the right hand going, and you hit him with powerful left hooks, and he moved a little bit, but he wouldn't fall.
Totally. I think that was the thing. I think pretty much it seemed like I had him gone, but it looks like I was admiring my work. So it's the thing that I got to get away from and step forward and put more punches together.
After Kevin, let me bring Kevin Berry in there also, a great trainer. Kevin, maybe after a couple of those rounds, the 5th, the 6th round, he just hit some power punches. Did he take take a round off and just try to get his second win?
No, I think what Dave was doing, he was trying to work away to hit him clean, and I was trying to ask him in the corner that he wasn't going to do it with one shot. He needed to put 2 or 3 shots together. Forget about the hook. We trained in camp with a 45. Rockman was ducking down all the time. The 45 was there. I think, you know, the fact that David likes to throw a left hook, he probably tried to throw it too many times. Rockman was out, you know, on about 4 different occasions. All David had to do was to put a couple of punches together, and it was night over.
But as he said, he was admiring his work. He was trying to do it with one punch.
All right, you're going to have to do this again now?
Let's do it. I think it's good part of boxing, it's good part of the fans.
All right, thank you very much, David. Thank you very much, Kevin. Oh, that's David Tua. Let's go back
with Mark Goldberg.
Thank you very much, Colonel. The first thing we have to ask you, you think the extra weight that you carried around kept you standing tonight?
Man, my mind and my strength and the luck, it kept me standing, man. I knew I was in shape. Everybody made a big deal about the weight, but I came in and outboxed this man, outpunched this man. I made him bleed, I knocked him down. What else can I do? How do you get a victory in this state, in this country?
Well, I mean, you had to be as shocked as David was shocked. How shocked were you when they said draw?
Speechless, man. I'm speechless. There's no way you can justify that. I really feel like this thing needs to be reviewed, but I've seen worse, so, I mean. No, you can protest. I'm going to leave it in the hands of my promoter, see how he handles it. My last promoter, I got cheated when I fought David Tua, and absolutely nothing happened. But I feel like, you know, I'm with the right promoter now, and something has to happen. You know, I like making millions. I'm trying to win. I knew if I would have lost this fight, it wasn't going to be no $1 million paydays, so I had to win. My team has to eat. My man told me he wanted a Lamborghini or something like that.
Rock, were you able to do everything in this fight that you wanted to do? I know, especially in the early rounds, you had the jab in his face. I know that's what you wanted to do. You wanted to stay off the ropes for the most part. You did.
Man, I did everything I thought was possible for me to garnish the victory. I don't know what else I had to do. I mean, of course I'm going to tie him up in the inside. He was leaning in. You know, my last spot I got headbutt terribly, so of course I'm going to try to keep his head out the range of my face. I mean, what else you want me to do, man? I told y'all I'm Hasim Rahman, far from done, and if I ain't show y'all that tonight, what else can I do? Y'all say I was in with the most heavy-handed puncher in the division. He hit me with clean hook, clean right hand. Did I fall? Did I get a standard 8 count? No.
You hit him back.
Come on, man. I don't know what to do, man. I'm speechless.
All right, Rock, thank you very much. Let me ask you one quick question. I asked David, I guess we have to do it again?
Man, well, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. If that's what the public want to see. I really don't see what I can do different, though. I can't get a victory against him. I guess my style don't mix with his style.
All right, Hasim, thank you very much. Hasim Rahman.